all up in the air, and we will see what we catch. Millennium swapping over to the blue side for this matchup. They currently have 9 points in the European Challenger Series. A win here would put their final regular season onto 12. Running the timer down. Last time around, it was a gangplank, but that was on blue side ban.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be willing to get rid of that, because that's a slightly safer pick. And going to decide shortly what they want.
Looks like we are just having a slight issue with our band's graphic coming up, but we will get that to you as soon as possible. I think we're on first pick here, so we're going to have to play Guess the Bands with what's available. But it's been a funny day here at the EUCS.
It has
so
been a
far.
tough day.
You can tell tiebreakers are in the air. I
think the curse is coming from the other broadcast.
This is what happens.
This is what happens, yeah.
You get past Valentine's Day, and the love in the air turns into the stench of tiebreakers. And
not allowed to bring friends.
So let's play the guessing game. Kog'Maw may or may not be banned here. That's my 50-50. GP would be banned. Fiora would be banned.
Kalista,
I think at this point.
Kalista's going to be gone.
I think so.
In order for Corki,
I think
maybe Lucian.
Alistair's probably gone here as well. I think Lucian's probably available.
Well, okay, we'll theorize those in a second. Broadcast will help us with what the bans are. For now, Millennium picked Corki. Is the Braum first pick. Now remember, Millennium actually banned that in the previous game, and they have comboed it with Millennium. So with Kog'Maw, going all in on the Kog'Maw strat once again.
They are. This time, it's a Corki that's could be mid, could be as the AD carry role. We know there is obviously that flex potential here. For SK, have they got baited once again? Have they been drawn into this Kog'Maw pick? It is fairly difficult. Okay, so we do have the bans that we can read off. So Alistair, Shen, and Twisted Fate have been banned by Millennium. Gangplank, Kalista, Lulu have been banned by SK. So that leaves us with the Poppy available. I didn't see a Fiora in there.
No, nor
so
did
that
I.
would be available. Was it available? No, it wasn't available last game. So Kaze has opted for the Poppy, though, in that matchup.
And also interested, well, again, into the Kog'Maw. So the diving ability, the combo with Gragas, but with Lucian up and Kalista taken away. Also interesting that SK have not opted into a slightly safer AD carry. You can argue, you know, the late power spike versus the more versatility that Lucian brings you. And we can finally see that the bans have been updated there on your screen. Apologies about the mix-up. Millennium, we're expecting this Corki to go mid lane. I mean, he's not run it yet, but I would expect it because Lucian's up as well. And Millennium can just do a similar sort of team comp. Poke out SK if they want to, dive if they need to. Or do you think Hansama's going to play Corki?
I think that's probably going to Pretty.
Yeah.
Well, now that they've seen the rest of the setup here, they do have to be careful of a Lissandra TP play with the lockdown. Probably going top lane right now. Expecting Hansama to pick up something, either the Lucian. We've seen him play Draven, we've seen him play Vayne. I'm not sure about either of those in this scenario.
What was it, 1,800 gold or something on that
yeah,
bounty?
1788, I believe it was, the bounty that he inevitably cashed in towards the end of the game. So the Nidalee pickup once again for .go did a great job. That was one of the things that SK actually did well. In the beginning of last game, keep in mind, he was like double the jungle CS of Joko. Problem is, Joko got more done on the map the later the game got. He had that ultimate available, started getting into lanes. Yeah, the farm never was relevant because Joko was just able to force the fights. Lucian is locked in, so Hansama will get his hands on that very versatile ADC, and it will be a Morgana support here for Masterworks. So some disengage and some safety, Black Shield against Lissandra. Yep. I think that's clever. Smart pick and ban once again, but it'll be slightly less aggressive with no TF in that mid lane. Yes, the dives will be much harder to do. The same with the support here. No Alistair means they can't really go aggressive behind turrets. But the package will allow him to once again play a similar... That is true. Quasi-global, pseudo-global, one of those words. It's okay. There was an opening of an opening there, and you kind of went for it with a word. And there's a buzzword in there somewhere, I'm sure. But don't worry about it. I think I used 3. It's okay. Yeah. So an opening of an opening. There we go. I got there before you. Yeah, you did. Right. What do SK round out their team? QuickShot. What do they round out their team composition with? Suno is going to be playing Zed into this Corki. So it's another sort of assassin versus X matchup.
but there's a time limit on the usefulness of that Z.
Means we're very likely to see the Duskblade of Dragthar, though. There is one issue with Duskblade, and that is, and we'll get to this in the game, the BF sword buy for Zed is one that is particularly difficult, just because you've got to save up 1,300. So there is that timing in the game, though, where Suno, if he gets onto Hans Sama, the Black Shield's not really going to do too much from Masterwork. It's going to force a QSS fairly early from Hans Sama. Maybe the same for Pretty as well. But once they do get that, it does kind of get rid of a lot of Zed's potency.
And not only does it get rid of Zed and Lissandra's potency, but the MR and the eventual upgrade into some lifesteal will also help against Kog'Maw. So there's some clear itemization routes here for Millennium. But I do think the power spike and the time frame from when Kog'Maw is like useful will be supplemented by this Lissandra Zed.
Especially by the Zed as well. It also gives you very strong side lanes. At the same time, Zed should be able to 1v1, I think, everybody. Poppy Zed is an interaction I don't see too much. So maybe Poppy gets strong enough that she can just weather the storm. Depends on what part of the game we're looking at. But definitely strong side lanes. Interesting setup. SK, they're playing a tough setup, but...
Theoretical strong side lanes, because Sleeping is playing a champion we've not seen him play before.
Yes.
He's had 3 games of Shen. This is the first time he's going to be on that Lissandra, so now we need to see his decision-making. And for Sleeping, he actually cannot afford to have those half-hearted teleports once more. So, guys, there's your team compositions. Jump onto Twitter. Hit us up. Hashtag EUCS with who do you think will win? Hashtag Millennium win if they're going to go 2-0, or hashtag SK win if they will give us the dankest timeline and the possibility of a tie for first and a tie for fourth. Because you know the oldest meme in the LCS and EUCS book, Europe loves ties.
Well, we've had them since the beginning of time, so always not quite as bad as we used to have them. I remember that one where Crepo actually played in the
I cast
fabled.
it. I remember it very well.
Okay, I wasn't there. Sorry again. Like, jeez. Disappointed dad QuickShot by the sounds of it.
I think we hit like 12 games in one day.
Something ridiculous. That was the game that actually Crepo and Frogan swapped. So the 100% win rate on Anivia. Yeah, anyway, that's old news. Stand aside now. New young hotness challenger is out of here. So
especially if Millennium keep up this tempo. Like if Millennium play the way they did in this previous game and the way they did in weeks 1, 2, and 3, we'll just omit 4, pretend it didn't happen. That's a squad that legitimately could take down a Roccat or Giants or maybe elements of Splice, whoever's going to be that third team in promotion.
Especially, and this is a tough one, especially a team that are playing the way that Giants are right now. Is Giants, they've even come out and said themselves, Godfred said it in an interview last week, you know, we don't really have our playstyle fixed. Well, Millennium in the last game had their playstyle fixed, and they played it exactly the way they needed to. They knew what they had to do, diving and being very active on the map, and that's something that some of the LCS teams just don't have right now.
No, they certainly do not. And SK may be revising their lack of lane swap in the previous game.
Oh no, the patience reset.
Yep, just out of range. Doko as well as Sleeping. Oh, he's still not done yet. That's a very, very angry Frog. He's going to be chasing for a long time. This is great interruption from Masterwork because SK opted into the lane swap. And now Masterwork is just running amok.
Oh, he's going back.
He's going to lose Wolf Camp as well.
Oh, man, this is so bad for SK, this start. I mean, look, you can see already, Joko is level 2. Kaze, I'm just going to double-check if he's alongside him. Yeah, he is just going around as a 2-man pairing. So for Millennium, they've had a lot of freedom in this early game. Importantly, Hans Sama down in the bottom lane on his own is soaking experience as well. Doko has his smite, so should be fine.
Oh,
he's got smite.
Is Doko going to pull a broken shot?
Well, he's already died to camps once.
Okay, survives. Manages to get away with it. But all of the power of that early game Nidalee has been delayed and stalled out because of just very, very smart play by Masterwork.
And not only that, Sleeping is only now getting his first parts of experience in this game, and that is off the small Raptors. He was actually at 0 experience. And in a 2v2 scenario, in a 1v2 scenario right now, he probably would have absorbed more experience just being able to go to his own lane and sit behind the wave. Problem is, It's a bit difficult when you've got a Morgana and a Lucian. They're going to try and pressure you out as soon as Morgana returns.
So congratulations to Millennium. Very strong start. The cost is, of course, free experience, farm, and time on Vardags' Kog'Maw. He's got himself a small advantage over Hunt Summer. And luckily for SK, on a jungler like Nidalee, he's going to be able to reset, clear these camps very quickly, and should, in theory, be able to claw back some of that deficit, but it will take time.
Some of it, but his counter jungling is somewhat less effective than in a standard scenario, because the way that you trade off your weak side for your strong side, it means the blue buff area, the bottom jungle for SK, now becomes Millennium's while their 2v2 is there, or the duo lane is there, so Millennium have free control over that. So there's less priority from .go now on counter jungling and just taking jungle from what is essentially his.
Yeah, clearing the half where it's safer.
But now it's dangerous. Look at the duo lane running up from Millennium. The jungle isn't with them, so it's not a 4 versus 1. But if Millennium had the idea that .go was there on his own, they could look to move across with the Corki. They don't quite have the vision for that, though.
Yeah, a couple of pings, though, inside the jungle of that left-hand quadrant. And SK Gaming reeling from that early game, despite being even on towers, is 700-800 gold difference between both teams. You can actually see the CS advantages. Gold a little bit more even than actually anticipated. Big chunk differences, that 400 between Joko and Doko.
And not only that, a whole level's worth of experience different. It means Joko will have his ultimate available, that full level, faster. So .go has to be very careful on his counter ganks. He means he can't skirmish effectively. Normally, one of the weaknesses of a Gragas this early on in the game is in a 2v2 scenario, you tend to not be able to skirmish quite as effectively. Problem is, if you've got or the solution to that is if you have your ult, easy to pick and choose your fights.
Yeah, very, very easy. Got to get that ult first. Kaze will have the help of Masterwork down bottom, as Hunt Summer has been left alone to his own devices up top to try and push that wave in. Continue to, try and claw out a lead.
So if you're SK right now, you have to be thinking, okay, why is support is come with the top lane, Poppy and Morgana, they're going to get chunked down very heavily by the Kog'Maw. Why are they there? Jungler could be looking to gank in the next few minutes because the 2v2 setup bot lane with Kaze, Masterwork cannot survive this 2v2. SK will avoid that by recalling and looking for the 2 versus 1 on the Lucian top lane. This is a decent change by SK. It is somewhat late though, as they could have been looking for that earlier.
Yeah, but it's good to be seeing it. For a team like SK who fell apart so early on in the previous game, I think some kudos to the guys' mentality, maybe, coming into this match.
Ooh, Hans Sama might be in trouble here. No turret.
All right, Hans Sama. He's going to have vision of Doko at the very least. And look at the support. Hans Sama, if he decides to go over this wall, this could result in a problem. Flash and heal is available. The bait is good. The dash forward. Hans Sama gets caught by the exhaust and will be stunned out by the concussive blows. Hans Sama should be giving up first blood, and he does to Doko.
And that right there is a very overconfident mistake by Hans Sama. He had the vision of Nidalee. He knew that the rest of SK weren't properly on the map, so could have been looking for top lane. Honestly, the Nidalee on the ward is the big giveaway there. Because why is Nidalee there if she's not looking to dive? He turns around to farm and thinks, okay, I'm safe, she's just farming, I'll go and try and disrupt.
All of the good work of keeping Doko down has now been evened out thanks to the kill. The tempo is somewhat in Millennium's favor because they got onto that tower just a few seconds earlier. I officially take that back because it is in fact SK that secure the first tower. Sleeping will not get caught in a stun as Kaze's heroic charge somewhat falters. But inner turret's traded, and SK, despite being heavily down in CS across the lanes, still marginally behind in gold.
But it's Millennium's play onto mid lane here that could swing this game in their favor here. If they can get the mid tower with a package coming up, oh, it's a bad fight though.
It really is. Exhaust onto Suno. Black Shield will not help him. Joko is now in trouble. SK Gaming, they are looking to take the fight to Millennium. They've got their third kill of the game, and they're not done yet. That is a very good teleport from Kaze. They've got one back onto Doko. SK are trying to peel away as Pretty is running out of mana, running out of health, running out of life. Kaze will get rooted in place, and SK, They grabbed themselves a 2-for-1.
I'm not so sure I agree on the teleport there when Kaze came into the fight. Had it been slightly earlier, they maybe could have taken that fight as a unit. Problem is, the rest of SK were grouping far quicker than Millennium could have. Hansama was over in the top lane looking to push on the top side, and I thought Millennium had an opening mid lane to try and get that tower down, but they couldn't get it fast enough, and then in came the fight from SK. So Masterwork, he tanks up the tower. This is already gone. Suno's getting this kill 100% of the time, even through that exhaust. So from here, Millennium are running down. Hansama top lane is still not even coming across. He doesn't want this fight. The teleport is fairly late here from Kaze. I don't think he actually was committed to it, otherwise he could have gone back into the bush by river. From here, Kaze overstays after this. Kaze looks to go aggressive onto Unlimited, then sees sleeping. If it had come down, may have been able to get out, but that Lissandra was always going to come forward for him at that time.
Yeah, and he managed to close the kill out. So 2 assists for sleeping and 2 kills apiece for Doko and Suno. And SK, they've got themselves a very good kill advantage. They've got to use the gold and the time effectively if they want to pull themselves ahead. Oh, Doko, he's going to get caught out. Pretty's got the package. We talked about how he can impact the map, and that's exactly what Pretty wants to do. We'll run down Doko. Sleeping is now caught between a tower and 3 members of Millennium. We'll find out if H2K virus was a thing or not. Millennium and the bug trying to chase him down.
Well, I mean, Millennium aren't able to go fast enough. This is a difference of their composition this game to the last game, is the dive potential just isn't there. Kaze is trying to farm out behind Vardags. He's banking on the fact that Vardags is low mana, that he can't actually do too much.
Run down. I mean, if you look down at the minimap, Vardags is going to run down Kaze. Oh no! Kaze, run! Don't turn
Zed's
back.
coming.
Here comes Vardags. Who does he want to give the kill to? This is such a big deal.
He's got to get the buckler! Oh, he didn't get it. He was never going to get it, but... Hey, look, at some point, if he'd have stepped on the buckler, maybe he could have got the shield and traded.
For what? 3 extra seconds?
More damage. I mean, he was always dead, because the
Always
Captain Surprise was going to kill him anyway.
Yeah.
If he'd have got the kill.
I actually wasn't
so
thinking
Kaze
that far
knew
ahead.
he was dead.
So this is an interesting situation, Stress. SK are up 5 kills to 2, but Millennium have got an additional tower and a boatload of additional CS. Look at the difference between Joko, between Pretty, and the opposite numbers, as well as even Hansama. So in actual fact, SK are still down 1,000 gold. But unlike the previous game, more by Mortius already completed for Suno. Guinzu's Rage Blade already completed for Vardags. So they have become enabled, but they may have prioritized a dragon over even more global gold. That's going to be a tower for Millennium.
Tower for Millennium, dragon to SK. Millennium did get top tower as well during the very exciting buckler trade on Cogmore there. But
I think's one of us.
Hey, look, I get very excited seeing where the buckler's gonna land. I'm hyped for Captain America, man. You got to throw them shields.
You do you, right? You do you. Rift Herald's being secured here by Millennium, as Sleeping will not be able to really interrupt that claw. Kaze's got a little bit of priority on the Sheen build that he's secured, and Millennium will have some support coming up this top lane. It's a 2,000 gold lead thanks to that outer turret for Dragon Trade we saw a few minutes ago.
So Millennium, they had a bit of a rough period the last couple of minutes, just picking and choosing bad fights. But Suno hasn't been able to actually step into his wave and farm in quite some time. 107 CS, 108, just constantly ticking up now for Pretty, and Suno is fairly static. And he even had the lead on this matchup, remember, or at least this setup. He got that kill on Masterwork.
Yeah.
Was able to go back.
Was falling behind in CS from fairly early on. As Pretty was able to bully him out in that lane. But SK Gaming now going to group themselves around middle. Remember, if the potential tie for first and fourth is to happen, SK have to win this game. Millennium, if they want to get as high a seed as possible, they obviously want to close this out. Kazi's going to interrupt the dash of Steadfast Presence and knocks them a mile and a half
gone
away.
back in, though.
But the Shadow will allow Suno to chase back onto Kaze. Deathmark burned Kaze down to pretty low HP. He doesn't have any armor to speak of yet, outside of his base stats, and SK will be pretty happy. I didn't actually think about that interaction. Deathmark down or the Shadow out, even if you get hit away from the verdict, you can still bounce back. That's the second camp in a row that Doko has stolen with a Javelin toss.
He's been on form today. He even stole a camp earlier with just the Runic Echo's bounce.
And thanks to the kills that they've secured, is even on effective gold with his opposite number.
So there's kind of a tipping point here for Zed. It was just on about 1,300 gold. Does he go back and get the BF sword? Does he go for the Duskblade of Drakthar?
Now, when we've talked about it in the office, Duskblade of Drakthar has been maybe second, third item.
Which is second item in my opinion, I feel.
And tell me why.
So the reason for it is, to rush BF sword early in the game is highly inefficient. You cannot get 1,300 gold very early on. You're just not strong enough. And if you do, all it boosts is your AD and kind of neglects everything else. You can't buy pink wards, potions, boots, anything that is kind of general lane survivability. Here in this situation, you can see Suno opted for the magic resist components. They're cheaper individual components, so you're not greedy for a savings account.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Vardak's just seen him a couple seconds now, a couple times, dodging those dark bindings. And for Suno, he opted for those Swifties and a long sword. Going to be prioritizing maybe the split push game. Look at your mini-map. There is a collapse on to SK. Or is it Millennium who are in trouble? There's a lot of members moving in this top quadrant of the jungle and a little bit of indecision about where they're going to go.
The other thing, as we may have a moment, I just want to talk a little bit more about Duskblade. Oh, Jocko's caught.
Yeah, as well as Unlimited. Two-man body slam, and Joko follows through with the explosive cast. Pretty's not done yet, and is able to chunk Vardax all the way out of lane. Millennium pick up their third kill of the game, and they're not done yet. They're trying to set up the siege.
They are. Doggo takes damage in response, though. Unlimited. Oh, he's bound.
Masterwork from out of sight, and the unbreakable shield is a lie. Hans Summer culls Unlimited where he stands. Millennium take the 5th tower of the game and extend their gold lead even further.
Yeah, Millennium are going to back themselves away. And that was just, again, Millennium playing with their advantage, grouping and making sure that they could get the fights they wanted. They've found better fights recently, and that's good for Millennium's prospects in this game. They now have got themselves about a 4,000 lead. Last little bit on Duskblade, because it hasn't actually been picked up. Not in the same way that Infinity Edge is an item enhancer, like a multiplier. Duskblade does a percentage of missing health, so you have to be able to, using your base damages and items you already have, be able to chunk through a target to get its real maximum effect. Zed, it's a little bit more forgiving on, because if you Deathmark auto, Duskblade is only 2 seconds, Deathmark is 3 seconds, so it means it will apply, and then be the damage is included in the Deathmark as well. So you kind of almost get that double stack. So it is has nice synergy with Zed.
I wish I was better at math. I'll have to ask Spellsy to help give some scenarios as to which is theoretically more beneficial for you. But I don't have an answer for that, and the people at home do have an answer for us, Stress. Hashtag MILWin. A strong 69% of the votes. We'll see if they'll turn any heads upside down with a clean 2-0 win.
Well, there's a pretty package. Oh, Doggo.
And it's going to be delivering Doggo to the hands of Millennium. Vardags wanted to plant his feet and spit for days, but there was no additional chase for Millennium. Instead, going to peel away and grab themselves Eye of the Beholder. The Rift Herald has been secured. It's Hans Summer that is actually going to pick up the Doom's Eve. And I expect we'll continue to siege. It's just been top lane focus, really for the last like 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, I mean for Millennium right now, they're neutralizing somewhat of the side lanes that SK have. They're saying, okay, you've got a Zed, you've got Lissandra, we're not going to let them push.
Leave them in the same lane.
I don't know how I feel about Zed and Lissandra being bottom right now. Oh. That seems like miscommunication. Sleeping probably looking to teleport top.
Let's find out if he can. Kaze is being jumped on. Glacial Tomb comes down. Suno's going to continue running out. He may get one back. Turret shot close. Will not be enough. Suno and Sleeping have to use everything to get the kill. Also, Unlimited was able to get the shield up, which I believe blocked Joko's explosive cast. So some good reactions. But at the end of the day, a 4-on-3 plus Doom's Eve means that Millennium get their 6th tower of the game.
Now, is there a teleport play off at the side? It's not home guard time yet, only 17 minutes. I was wondering if Lissandra's going to look to come in through Tribush or one of the bushes back there, but SK don't actually answer in the top side. They did get the kill in the bottom lane and the tower, so it's not the worst trade for them, but still, Millennium are advancing their control of the map every single play.
And just great, proactive, aggressive moves. Millennium are consistently forcing SK to play on the back foot. QSS has already been picked up by Pretty, so Lissandra and Zed's impact is somewhat reduced. And a Phantom Dancer for Hans Summer.
Again, that's damage reduction, so it means the Zed, the Lissandra, anybody that gets on him is going to have less impact once he's thrown out that first auto. I'm talking about it a lot because I am hyped to see the Zed. 1300 gold is on Zed right now, and he just came out of base before 1300, farmed a jungle camp, and is recalling.
Is the sun
so
setting?
either I'm getting baited, and he's not buying
Look
it.
at items, look at items, look at items.
I'm ready. I'm ready for this. The BF sword buy plus a pink cord.
Yeah.
Where's the pink ward? There's the pink ward.
Okay.
Oh,
so
I thought it was 2 pink wards for a second.
The sun is setting. Dusk overshadows SK.
I wish you guys could see what's going on here. There's like a dramatic reading with like hand actions and waving from QuickShot.
Now this item better be powerful enough to help SK claw back their 4K deficit. Or the teleport play from Sleeping has to open up a side lane. Or maybe even the mid lane. If they can get that outer turret down, it's worth more gold. So there's challenges here for SK because we're 20 minutes in and they're still very far behind.
They are, but they've got the Cogmore. There is the hidden impact. Okay, here we go. It's not display time yet.
No, Drakthar is not available. Keeper's Verdict comes up. Suno should easily be able to pick this up. There's nearly no armor for Kaze. There is support from Choco, and Suno sidesteps, but he throws out the Shuriken and continues to run away. All of the support is coming in through the jungle. Unlimited puts up the Unbreakable. I think it ate a Dark Binding. Is going to dash over a wall, stand behind me. Sleeping self-cast the Tomb. Will buy it just some time before Hans Summer, or in fact Pretty, secures the kill. They traded top lane for top lane. But Millennium are the ones that are still playing aggressive and pushing. Look at Pretty's positioning.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure at first if Millennium should really have engaged that, but then I looked at the map. The key focus for SK, where is Vardax? How fast can he get to the fight? He wasn't there. Again, it's another fight that Millennium had the numbers advantage for. This time, Millennium, I think the inhibitor turret is too tough to crack this early on in the game. They don't quite have enough of a lead, and they have to respect the damage from SK.
They do. Doko has to respect the Dark Bindings. Masterwork finds yet another target. I feel like Masterwork's Morgana has been phenomenal this split. That's the 5th time he's played it. He's currently 3-1, and I remember hearing you and Pulse losing it at the number of Dark Bindings he hits.
Yeah. The guy hits Dark Bindings like there's no tomorrow. He is pretty good at hitting them. Unlimited's like, I'm going to try and catch him now, and he's getting bound and kind of locked down because of it.
Hashtag not worth.
He's only died once.
No,
so.
I bet you the next... You see we're watching Masterwork?
Yeah.
I'm going to bet you money he's going to miss this Dark Binding. Called it.
Good job I didn't take that bet. Are you some kind of wizard?
I should not be that smug, actually, because...
Really?
It is time for the Dusk Blade of Drakthar. I really hope I'm saying that right. Otherwise, Live Design in Santa Monica are going to be really angry with me. That's the first time that I've personally seen it in a European game. We did not see it on LCS.
So, I think we actually saw it on Hans Summer once, believe it or not. Really? I think in a game they were ahead. I would have to double check that.
I'm sure Pulse will be
I know Hans Summer has been playing it in solo queue. I may be wrong, but on Draven.
Okay.
Because
I can see that.
Typically, if you have 2 seconds of auto attacks from a Draven that's juggling axes, you're dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's at that point, it's like amplify the damage.
Let's see. Unlimited flashed over the wall. And after the Caster Curse, Masterwork can't follow him with a Dark Binding. I believe Pretty has the package available to him and the ability to react if he opts into it. Joko will hold onto the cask. The knockback was not used. And SK are now playing defensive duty. There's not a lot of wave clear to work from. They've got some AoE, but it's non-traditional at best, and it is reliant on Vardax standing still, which then opens him up to get comboed by Millennium.
Suno's true power, though, has started to fall off. 2 QSS on the side of Millennium.
Where is Vardax?
He's pinned
against the wall, knocked up into the air. The culling will not kill him, and Vardax stays alive. Staying alive. SK are trying to turn one back. They've got Joko down. Dark Binding finds a target when Masterwork needs it to, and Kaze's caught out. Deathmark should be the death of him. Suno is unstoppable. This could be the fight that SK are looking for, but 3 members of Millennium are still alive, and another Masterclass Dark Binding. Pretty's got the black shield on and staying alive. Suno's looking to try put the damage. The Dusk Blade of Drakthar doing work. Unlimited goes down. Vardax is exhausted. He can't kill because the rest of SK have been focused. And in what was a 3v5, Millennium turn it around. Sleeping and Suno are running for their lives. Ardent plays, misses, not enough damage. A sidestep from the Dark Binding, and Sleeping will ride the claw to safety before the Gromp finishes off Corki. I think the Ignite would have killed him too.
Hansama wants vengeance.
Oh, that was a fun team fight. But I cannot believe that SK in a 5v3 still lost that.
I mean, I would agree with you, but there was a lot used by SK to keep Vardax alive at the beginning. Even my sanity as you broke out into song, and I was not expecting it, but Millennium went aggressive here. This was Kaze going in. The problem here is if you don't kill Vardax, this is where the team fight turns around, and this was a very precarious moment for Millennium. They go in, Sleeping manages to keep himself alive. At this point, Millennium have to back themselves out of the fight. There's a point at which, though, SK overextend and then split up in this fight. Look, Suno's coming around the side. Dotgo and the rest of SK are moving forward, but the binding from Masterwork holds them in place for Pretty to land the Phosphorus Bomb. In comes Suno from the side. At this point, the Duskblade I don't believe is available. It's on a 2-minute cooldown, so he can't get that amplified damage. Millennium then, they know Masterwork is fighting on the top side, nearly takes out 2 on his own as they were low health targets, but Pretty and Hansama look to clean up. If that Ardent Blaze had hit, man.
Yeah.
That was the difference.
Yeah. I really thought it was the Gromp that killed Pretty, but the Ignite is down. Like, Suno used it, so maybe the kill credit was the auto.
Kill credit to Gromp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ignite would have helped.
We're back in.
Back to live, and Dragon is secured by SK. That's number 2, so they'll be able to take towers just a little more effectively, which will help them out. That damage over time, which was added on 6.3. I especially like it when you consider the range that Cog will be able to find turrets, get some tags, and then peel away. And you can see there's a QSS, so if an exhaust is put down next time, there'll be some tools for Vardax to deal with it.
There will be. Looking at the itemization, Banner of Command has come out from Millennium, so Sleeping's going to struggle with that. Zed won't be too toughly dealt with. No, that's not even a sentence.
At this. Hold up a second. Kaze, he's not with the team, and Millennium are quite extended. Okay, Kaze is starting to move up. SK, still, they are 6,000 gold down. Just swinging themselves up. Suno hanging around, and Millennium, they've spent so much time in this top quadrant of the jungle. Dark Binding connects onto Dotgo. He's going to be in trouble. Culling flashed away from. Now Dotgo's going to be the target. Vardax comes down. Glacial Fissure knocks up Masterwork. Deathmark comes down onto Masterwork. Masterwork will be taken down. Sleeping uses a self-cast before he's pinned against the wall, and he's knocked up into the air. It's a 2-for-1 as Vardax gets sent to the Acathian Surprise. Will not be able to pick up any additional damage. It's a 2-for-2, but Millennium with priority.
SK were bailing at that point, and Vardax didn't seem to get the message. He just stood there and committed to the fight. There was nobody to peel for him, and he just died faster than he could actually output the damage. From here, Millennium looking maybe for the inhibitor.
Well, they're going to continue to chase down. Suno forced to use that shadow to stay alive from the pin against the wall. And Limit and Doko, now they're looking to run down Kaze. Kaze's got a lot of tankiness. Spirit Visage and Sunfire Cape, crucially for SK Gaming, the inhibitor stand. So here's a replay of Doko getting caught and then it being turned around.
Yeah, I want to see exactly what happens here with Vardax getting caught out, because he moves forward, eats the barrel. The rest of the team is taking a lot of damage. And Vardex just, he gets a double kill. At this point, the rest of SK haven't bailed out yet. Sleeping drops in the front, and now SK are backing away. Now they're heading out of this fight, and Vardex is like, I'm just going to stay here and try and deal as much damage as possible. Didn't feel like he could effectively kite back. He didn't have summoners, so if he had turned, I think he probably would have fallen anyway. So just a tough spot.
I guess you just got to do what you can, knowing you're going down.
Yeah.
Luckily, SK were able to fend off the inhibitor turret. So, see how well they continue to defend. Millennium, once again, top quadrant jungle. They've got a plethora of pink wards. Means a lot. And they're starting to control the vision, once again, around Baron. See if they can get it out. Unlimited, you're gone. Not much else to say, I'm afraid.
No, that was a pretty straightforward pick, if I'm being honest.
I learned a term from Cyanide. He made an oopsie.
He made an oopsie.
Well,
happy little accident.
Yeah.
Although that wasn't too
look
happy.
At that. Sleeping actually walks into the cast that will actually punish Joko. Vardex is able to put the DPS down. Masterwork gets caught out by the Duskblade as well as Deathmark, and he gets taken out. All of a sudden, SK have found 2 picks. Hans Summer, QSS, and a long-range package from Pretty will take down Doko. It's not done yet. Pretty's looking forward for Sleeping. Vardex wants to plant his feet and put the autos down. There's a split from SK. Hans Summer with a double kill. He's looking to chase for more. Icathian Surprise will put some good burst onto Hans Summer, and Suno thinks about it before backing away. Suno's all of a sudden got the backup of Unlimited. We're 29 minutes into the game. Kaze finds him!
Oh, hide and seek champion 2016. Kaze wins.
31 kills to 29 minutes. SK Gaming are falling further and further behind.
Further and further behind, and that is the same kind of situation as their hopes for 4th place. As a playoff spot is on the line. If they can win this game, they would tie up the Copenhagen Wolves. But actually, Copenhagen Wolves have the head-to-head.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure that out once this game begins to wrap. Because the teleport comes out from Kaze. He lobs a buckler into the face of Unlimited and is able to bait out the Glacial Fissure. I think that's a big deal, because if SK Gaming want a team fight, they need that. Doko's down. And another just easy pickup as Masterwork connects with the Darkbind. And you have to feel it's now a matter of time. SK, they dug deep and were able to have some glimmers of hope. Unfortunately, it just was not enough. Inhibitor's going to fall, and Millennium, they can play this one out safe and simple.
Yeah, I don't know whether SK actually can defend this right here. They need somehow Suno to go massive in a fight.
Well, they need more than that. Joko's jump forward. The culling will find Vardex. It's a fight on multiple fronts. Suno's knocked into the air by the verdict, but for the tomb is used just to buy some time on Kaze. They've currently traded 1 for 1. Top for mid, but there's a quick follow-up as it's a triple kill for Hans Summer, taking out Suno, Doko, and Unlimited. Vardex follows shortly thereafter. Hans Summer's not done yet. Kill credit to Pretty, stealing away what would have been a quadra kill. The Nexus is being focused down, and Doko's just trying to buy time. It was his death that started the base destruction, and it will not be a death to finish it. The banner
he got Pretty.
Javelin will take out Pretty, but I'm afraid it's too late for SK Gaming, and Millennium go 2-0 and hold on to 1st place temporarily.
Yeah, depending on the rest of the results today, they may have locked a 1st place spot for themselves, but that was the first game was the Millennium we expected. The second game was a bit of the overconfident Millennium that we saw at the beginning, especially just the way they were picking fights, the teleports completing. Still, they kind of reassure themselves, and then it looks a bit more solid of how they close out the game. Very bloody game, though, the second one.
Yes. I can't remember how many kills it was at the end. It was around 30-something in about 32 minutes, but one of the important things to take away from this game is the fact that Millennium bounced back from a tough week 4. And the horror scenario of top of the table and bottom of the table ties is now no longer possible. So tiebreakers are still a theoretical thing, but the potential of between 6 and 10 games is now out the window. So I'm a little sad because I like more games. Even though you would have been the one that had to cast
say, yeah, I'm the one that would be sat here with Pulse. But if we were in 10, maybe that would have been a little bit different. Maybe you would have graced us with your presence again.
Yeah,
and
broken
just singing
else.
Voice.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to seeing
I thought you were in pain at first.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to seeing
honestly thought you were in pain. You're like, staying alive.
I was just empathizing with SK Gaming because that's what it felt like in that second game.
Did you used to be in like a BG South African tribute?
If I did, I hope there's no footage to prove it. But congratulations to Millennium, 2-0. They take down SK Gaming. SK's now hopes of making playoffs, I believe, are removed entirely. We'll have to see how that one works out. But for now, we're going to head to an ad break. I'm Trevor QuickShot Henry, and don't touch that browser.